How funny is this story? Let's find out. Hello Fanatics, I'm Dylan Phillips and this is the Film Fanatic Review bringing you The Death of Stalin, starring Steve Buscemi, Simon Russell Beane, and Jeffrey Tambour. First, we'll tell you what the movie is about, and our initial thoughts. Then we'll move on to our spoiler-free likes and dislikes. We'll finish up with some spoiler-heavy thoughts on this film, and our final word. The Death of Stalin follows the story of the Soviet dictator's final days, and the chaos that ensues after his death. Overall, I enjoyed this film. If you're a fan of political satires like Veep, or the nonsensical Python humor, then this is the film for you. For what I liked about this film, let's start off with the story. From beginning to end, this film feels like an Iannucci project. Not only does it use morbidly absurd black comedy similar to his past work, but it also imbues the tone of it as well. These characters are not dated bureaucrats who speak an older language, but instead speak with the candor of modern characters from his other works. It helps that Iannucci decides to have his actors speak in their native accents, rather than force them to use Russian ones, and this only furthers the hilarity of the situation. The characters in turn are terribly flawed, paranoid people who let their anxieties dictate their actions. The performances across the board are phenomenal as each actor adds to the ensemble, but there were 4 scene stealers to me: Steve Buscemi, Michael Palin, Rupert Friend, and Jason Isaacs. The latter 2 add curveballs to the mix as these characters create obstacles for the minister's plans and make each scene increasingly better. The interesting part about this film is that the characters in the ongoing subplots of the Russian government's kill lists tackle the themes of paranoia and Stalinism in this very troubling setting, while still managing to make the comedy work. The satirical elements make this film funnier, but its choice of setting ends up being a very real historical look at this gruesome period. Somehow it manages to be a historical drama and political satire at the same time, as it sets up a lighthearted, absurd tone over a dark, anxiety-ridden backdrop. However, the comedy of this film is definitely not for everyone, and some people might not be happy with the ambiguous ending. Regardless, it certainly piqued my interest to dive deeper into this vast political history. And that's where I'll end our spoiler-free thoughts on this film. If you want to hear our final word or rating of this film, pause now and click the link in the description, because now it's time for spoilers. First off, it was wonderful to see Michael Palin in this film, as I haven't seen him in very many things recently. He's one of my favorite Pythons, and having him in this film instantly made the comparison between this film and Python humor. Secondly, I did not expect the gory or graphic violence throughout this film, but it does fit the comedic tone and add to the hilarity of the situation. And the best scenes to me were the concerto recording, the autopsy of Stalin, and the final coup. So, with the thoughts heard, here's our final word. The Death of Stalin is a witty, smartly written political satire that takes a fascinating look at the inner workings of a past Russian government. The hilarious performances, strong historical themes, and Iannucci's direction help elevate this story past satire into being both an outrageous comedy and dissection of Russian politics. This film should not have worked given the topic, and yet Iannucci is somehow able to make something both hysterical and memorable, so I'm gonna give The Death of Stalin an 8.5. Thanks everyone for watching our review. Are you planning on seeing The Death of Stalin? Or if you've already seen it, do you have something to add? What did you think of the story? Let us know in the comments below. I'm Dylan Phillips, and this has been the Film Fanatic Review. If you liked this video and you want to see more, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Check out our latest Fanatic 5 video where we discuss the top Meryl Streep roles. Don't forget to follow us on our social media. And until next time, Fanatics, keep it real.